morning show where we sold a trend.
Going on social media, supporting the spread.
Hello and welcome back to Amateur Shit Talkers. Today is our first recording of 2024.
Our first recording.
Yeah, and what a way to
back.
start it off than to have a Bachelor of Science next to us and an influencer as well. Who are we next to?
2024 education.
Yeah.
What do you
Now, who's sitting on the couch with us today?
Oh, you've got me, Bradley Marshall. So I kind of went viral online for curing my eczema. So eczema is something I had my whole life. Like I remember in high school, like people swimming on swimming day, and I wouldn't be able to go in the water because like the chlorine would just mess me up horribly. And you know, I was just always so envious of everyone else to be able to like, you know, take off their clothes. But like obviously if you've got weight issues or you've got skin issues, then you don't want to take off your shirt because there's just problems everywhere. So anyway, the doctors are saying like eczema is incurable. So it's like if you look up online, is eczema curable? They'll just say no, it's not possible. So basically, I just didn't believe that.
Yeah.
So I spent 3 years looking for alternate therapies. Like I already spent I had 26 years of going to the doctors, like just trying everything under the sun that they offered. Steroid creams, UV treatment. Like they were offering Dupixent, which is this new injection that you take twice a month for the rest of your life.
Oh,
And I'm just like, you know what? I just don't believe this is going to work.
Yeah.
And like, it's a long story. So, but basically I found all these alternate treatments. So I found this meat diet, and like, I was just at the gym really. And this guy who owns a gym was like, you know, I had eczema as bad as yours.
Oh, really?
You wouldn't believe me because my skin's healed. It's not, you can't see it anymore. But I had it as bad as yours. Just try a meat diet for 100 days. Just eat meat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Because I was already open to like alternate therapies. I tried a whole lot of things that didn't work.
Yeah.
Like crazy things that people will look at like, why did you try that? Like people were looking at me saying like, why are you doing this? Like, I get it. You're in a state of agony. Like, it was painful. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
It was like I was only getting like an hour a night of sleep. So,
Really? Is that how much like an effect it had on you?
yeah, dude, even when I was dreaming, like, I'd be dreaming of crawling through glass. And like,
really?
I'd have these dreams where I had like, I don't know, like Olympics challenge, except it's like I don't know, Pain Olympics or something.
Oh,
So like,
cruel.
yeah, so there's like all this electricity hanging from the ceiling, and I'd be walking through it. That was my dreams. And then I'd have like crabs, and I'd have to like crawl through them while they're pinching me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So for people that like don't know, can you give like a brief explanation of what eczema is?
So obviously, eczema is a skin disorder. So you know, the skin is the largest organ on the body, and it's an autoimmune disorder. So like doctors don't talk about the gut or health. They only have like 14 hours of dietary education. So what I'm arguing is that all of the eczema is actually caused from the gut. But anyway, it's a skin disorder, and the doctors just say it's a problem with your immune system, that your immune system's attacking itself.
Yep.
So yeah, basically you just get a lot of rashes all over your body.
Yeah.
And it's red. Usually it's weeping, it's bleeding. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And was this something that you struggled with your whole
My
life?
whole life. Like there's pictures of me like 3 months old, and I already have eczema everywhere.
Oh, really? Yeah. Far out. And so it just like continued all the way? Or was it kind of like segmented? Or?
I was just, it got worse, and then it got better. Like it would fluctuate.
Yeah.
But that's because I was suppressing the expression of the eczema through these creams called steroids.
Oh, yeah.
So the steroids would just block the expression. It's just like a mask. So a lot of doctors who are holistic talk about it like this. If you're driving and there's no petrol in your car anymore, it's like instead of actually filling up with petrol, you just put some tape over the thing and just be like, oh, we're fine.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what steroids do.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a
Cover up.
just a band-aid for a couple of
Band-Aid,
weeks, and then you put
that's
another
exactly right.
band-aid on,
Yeah.
and then you put another band-aid on.
That's right. And it makes it worse long term.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like it's like, I don't know, it's like you feel good when you drink and then the next day you have a hangover.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
exactly what steroids do. Like
Yeah.
you feel good now, but eventually it's going to get to a point where you literally have to take higher and higher doses, like a drug addict, which
Yeah,
you
really.
basically are. I'm a drug addict to this. So you have to just take higher and higher potencies until the top potency doesn't work, which is exactly what happened to me.
Oh, really?
So I spent 26 years just trying all these creams and finally got to the top level and there was no more creams left to use. So that's why they were like, the doctors were like, okay, you can't use any more creams. So let's start with the injections.
Yeah.
But,
Was there kind of like one cream that was like, it felt like it was helping it a bunch, but then it wasn't, or?
Was like the most promising one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like moisturizers, there's some moisturizers that are really good
Yeah.
because like they would stop the itch.
Yeah.
So like that's why it's so hard to sleep
Yeah,
because
I
you
bet
can't
killer the
like
itch,
you're itching
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. And
Um,
especially like over your sheets, obviously it's like kind of dead skin in that as well. Like it would
yeah.
just be
Oh,
hard
I have to change the sheets like at least once every 2 days.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Really?
Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that's something
Pretty-
that you wouldn't really notice or
yeah, it's
until,
pretty
have a
until
good-
it's actually happening.
dude,
Yeah.
pretty graphic description. So sorry if it's TMI, but like it would look like snow.
Oh, yeah.
Like every morning I'd wake up and I'd be shedding that much skin that I would just shake it and then like it would just be a puff of
Oh.
skin everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Really?
like I'd have to mop it up. Well, I was just like sweep it up and you'd see this huge mountain of skin. Like that's how much skin I was shedding a night.
Wow.
Far out.
Yeah.
That's mental. That's something like you hear about people struggling with eczema, and like, well, at least I do.
Yeah.
But I don't really take on like the second-hand side effects sort of thing, like
Yeah.
having to change your bed sheets every 2 days. It's really
Yeah.
something you don't think about.
Yeah, there's like a test done on the quality of life. So people who have cancer measure themselves. Like the scale is from 0 to 1.
Yep.
And the people who have cancer measure themselves at like 0.3. So if you're at 0, it's miserable.
Yeah.
But if you're at 1, it's perfect. So
Yeah.
cancer patients measure themselves at 0.3. And statistically, the eczema people also measure themselves at 0.3. So
Yeah, wow.
all the doctors say, like, why is it so bad? Like, it's just skin,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not bad. But the
Yeah.
thing is,
It's
you're always in pain.
yeah.
Yeah.
uncomfortable. It's painful. Yeah.
Yeah, people reach out to me all the time online, like they see the video where like I'm just in so much pain, and like
Yeah.
they're just like, you know, I've got eczema and it's nowhere near as bad as yours, and I'm in pain all the time.
Yeah.
And they're just like they reach out to me like I'm crying watching your video because I know how much pain you're going through.
Yeah.
Like it was just awful. So you know, as a kid, it was a dream of mine to just be like, I just wish I had no eczema. I
Yeah.
just, you know, I always just dreamed of that. So it's kind of surreal that like I'm still in my 20s and I get to live the rest of my life
Yeah.
as a normal person.
And I'd say you're in your prime too. You know, you
Yeah,
get rigged and go out to the balls and,
yeah,
you know, go travel and walk around the beaches shirtless. But
that's right.
yeah.
So
But is there levels to eczema? Is there like
Oh yeah, man. There's severe and there's moderate. Like, I need to brush up on this, but when I was applying for Dupixent, which is like this injection they give you for eczema,
Yeah.
there's actually a ranking system for eczema. So they don't, because it's subsidized in Australia. Like in America, you're paying anywhere between $13,000 a year
far out.
for eczema cream. So people's like, oh, you're spending a lot of money on meat.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, obviously I'm actually spending around 20,000 a year on meat.
Yeah, well, that's what I was actually gonna ask you about, because obviously, you know, I always want to try and eat healthier and
Yeah.
everything, and then I go to Woolies and say like
expensive as
steak
fuck,
steak
yeah.
is like $20, and I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
how can I ride that
Yeah.
for a year?
Well,
Or
that's the thing. It's like, even if you don't have a carnivore diet and you want to eat healthy
yeah,
and you want to buy organic,
Yeah.
it's expensive as well.
Yeah.
Like I actually eat fruit today in my diet, and I only get organic fruit because like I tried to save money by eating like watermelon.
yeah.
That's just not organic, and
Yeah.
literally you can taste the difference.
Oh really?
Like it tastes like it's been, I don't know, this is my opinion, but it tastes like it's been in the freezer for 6 months, because it probably has.
Yeah.
yeah.
Whereas the organic stuff, it's so expensive because it's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight from being grown to the shelf with no
Yeah.
herbicides or anything.
Straight from Broadford.
Yeah, straight from it's in your backyard right now. Obviously, like it's meat.
Mm.
Can you have like beef jerky in that?
I tend to avoid processed meat just because, like, the fresher the better.
Yeah.
Like, this is my rule. Like, if it existed 200 years ago,
Yeah.
I eat it.
Oh really?
So, like, I don't know, beef jerky, like, processed meat, I don't know if that would have
You don't
survived.
You don't feel that you need it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just feel like it would inflame me. I haven't tried it.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm always testing my skin, like to this day, like you can see like it's starting to come back a tiny bit. That's because I've introduced new foods all the time. I'm just trying to like broaden my range of food options. So like beef jerky, it's just I think there's preservatives there. Yeah.
Is it something that you've really had to research a lot yourself on? Like, how did you conduct the research on the food?
Yeah.
Because that's something that's like massive on what food you can eat, like what meats work the best, what meats don't work the best, sort of thing. What have you found works best for you in terms of clearing up the eczema?
Yeah, so this one's it could be a long answer, but like basically, there's the food pyramid, which even Joe Rogan talks about this.
Yeah,
it's basically upside down.
Oh yeah.
So everything that they recommend you should eat, you shouldn't eat, and everything they recommend you shouldn't eat, you should eat.
Yeah.
So that's a good guide, and I'm not even bullshitting you.
Yeah.
Like that's like
We'll have to
legit.
pull up the food pyramid.
Yeah. So they obviously tell you meat causes atherosclerosis and heart disease, cancer, and like I was listening to it in a podcast. Come in here. So Paul Saladino talks about if you just type in cancer meat, like the first thing you see on Google is just these hundreds of studies that just say like meat causes cancer.
Really?
Like IARC, which is the International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is the World Health Organization. Like they talk about if you eat meat, 50 grams of meat every day, then you're at 17% more risk of getting cancer.
Yeah.
Which is, sorry to say, but it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you were like just lost in the wild, like Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you're just gonna eat the plants? If it was me, I'd be getting a spear and trying to get a wildebeest or wild boar, or like trying to kill something that's massive.
Yeah.
Do you think like we've had 2 million years of human evolution? Do you think the caveman ancestors would have been worried about heart disease and cancer?
Yeah. And
No.
like, you even say like people like Bear Grylls, who's like one of the fittest people I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
So like, why would you assume that eating meat is gonna?
And it's interesting because Bear Grylls is vegan before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was vegan, and he actually commented on my videos. He was just
really?
like, "Yeah, good for you."
Wrapped,
Yeah. So he was vegan before, and then now he's like, I don't advocate that diet anymore. Now he's like, I don't know if he's carnivore, but he eats meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So like in terms of the food that I eat, like everyone's kind of different. So there have been people that really benefit from a vegan diet.
Yep.
And that's because you're cutting out all the processed foods. You're cutting out seed oils, seed oils are like the canola oil, like what chips are fried in at McDonald's.
Yeah.
All that seed oil is horrible. Processed like gluten, like that affects everyone. There's a doctor called Dr. Fasano. I don't want to like bore you, your
keep
audience,
going.
but like there's a Dr. Fasano and he talks about how gluten actually transiently affects everyone in the gut.
Yeah.
Like it actually, so the whole principle behind eczema is all disease begins in the gut, and like ancient holistic medicine by Hippocrates, like in Greece, like he talks about it, like everything starts in the gut. So like they've known this for centuries.
Yeah.
It's only like modern medicine's like, nah. And it's all about pills now.
Yeah.
So
that sort of Western medicine that you talk about.
yeah.
So with you, because you talk about you stepped away from Western medicine, how long ago from now was that? Like, did that transition happen when you stepped away and took it into your own hands, really, with your eczema?
So I started the carnivore diet 22nd of June 2022.
Okay.
I remember that date because I posted about it, and all my vegan friends were like, "What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Like, why don't you try a vegan diet? Like, people are actually like healing, like as if you'd go on a diet that actually causes
the complete
cancer."
opposite, yeah.
Yeah. But like, I just wanted to try it, and I was already like really disillusioned by medicine at that point.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that doctors tell you, like, steroid creams is the way, but like, there's all these side effects with steroid creams, like your skin becomes brittle. You can become obese, like even Dupixent, like you can go, the worst cases of Dupixent, which is this injection that you take for eczema, you can like have corneal abrasion, which can lead to blindness and conjunctivitis. So I'm just like, I have eczema. I don't want to go blind.
I'm not taking that risk.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, like, people who have eczema that's not as bad as mine, like just not even that bad, they go straight to the drugs because the doctors are like, just take Dupixent.
Yeah.
Like,
And of course, they're gonna believe the doctor,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
on what the doctor's telling you to do.
yeah, and like even doctors today, like they're like, because obviously my account's just gone viral in the last year, so doctors are commenting all the time like, Dupixent, 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 and then people are like commenting back like, this is just a band-aid, stop advocating this, like you're just making money off us sick people. And he's just like, I'm not making money off you guys, and I'm like, well, that's not the point. Like regardless of whether you believe that or not, like I think the statistic is $10 billion a year is going to big pharma. So like, you know, it's an industry. If people are sick, you're gonna make money off them.
Yeah.
And like, I don't like to go down that route because you can quickly lead to like, you know,
Yeah, it gets political
conspiracy
pretty
or
quickly. Yeah,
political
exactly.
and that. So it's messy, but I really do believe that you can really fix yourself
Yeah.
just by diet.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to start seeing the results from your diet?
100 days.
100 days.
14
So
weeks.
you reckon?
No, not exactly. Like around 12 to 14 weeks.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
is that like the state that you're in now? That
Well, it looked like this, but
Yeah.
like I had like ghost pains for like 6 months after. So like I was healthy. I looked healthy, but like, you know, when like people get their legs cut off, like they still feel like they still feel the legs there because of the nervous system.
Yeah.
So I was still feeling like it was still itchy for another 6 months, but like I was healed up completely.
Just cutting away from the episode real quick, we thought we should remind you guys about our socials.
You can find us as Amateur Shit Talkers on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram.
And if you'd like to find them all in one place, hit the link in our Insta bio.
So another sort of, main part of your journey is the social media. So you mentioned how about a year ago your account sort of blew up, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But what made you actually start like sharing your journey? Was that day one? Like, was that when you sort of switched? You started.
Well, to keep me accountable, I put everything in my stories.
Yeah,
So
really?
like when I started, I was like, you know, starting this all meat diet, and it was on my story. So people just reached out to me like after I showed them myself healing on my stories, like I was already healed, and people were like, holy shit, like that's amazing. You should, you know, share this on your in reels, on your actual thing. Don't just put it on your story.
So was this just your personal Instagram story at this time?
So that account before was just all music. So it was like my music
really?
page, and I had all
Stay
this-
tuned for that. We're going to touch on that at the end.
I've since created another music account, but like the thing is, all my followers were all musicians. So all my original followers was just like,
Yeah,
they've
so it's
just
sort of
gone.
just
Just pissed off.
completely transitioned.
That's right. I felt really bad, so I created like a second Eczema account, but like it ended up just being my main account is just Eczema now, and so all the musicians that I was friends with, like I've tried to like follow them from my second account so they know that it exists.
Yeah.
But they've just been going down. But like all these carnivore people with Eczema like have just been following me around the world. Like the craziest demographic is it went viral in Brazil, so I've got like
Brazil.
thousands of Brazilians just
Yeah,
like,
it's so
messaging
weird
me
the
all
places
time.
it reaches.
Really?
It's nuts.
Shout out to Brazil, hey?
And all these
Pulling
Brazilian
through.
doctors that are just talking to me.
Yeah. And so how long did it take roughly, like you started obviously posting on your stories and that, how long did it take to really get maybe one video that helped you blow up? Or if
It was the first
many
one.
videos? Oh, the first
It was the
one?
first one.
Really?
I don't know if you know Michaela Peterson, but she's
not familiar.
Okay, she's Jordan Peterson. Do you know Jordan Peterson?
Oh, yeah.
That's his daughter, and his
really?
daughter is his daughter is like on the all meat diet as well. So that's how I found out about the all meat diet as well.
Yeah.
Like it was the guy in the gym, but plus it was her because she's been on the all meat diet for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
and
a
so
lot
she's-
of meat.
Yeah, a lot of meat. And like I'm eating fruits these days, so she just eats meat and that's it. Like she has to take calcium, magnesium, potassium supplements because you can't just eat meat.
Yeah.
You need that from, like I get it from coconuts and avocado.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, she commented on that reel, and she
yeah.
was just like, you know, like, and it got shared by another massive carnivore doctor because they're always looking for amazing transformations to like show that the carnivore diet works.
Yeah.
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 And so, I'm just curious, this isn't social media based, but what can you drink? Like, do you just drink water or is there...
Yeah, I drink water and coconut milk. Like, not coconut milk.
Yeah.
It has to be straight from the coconut, like the coconut water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
So is that like do you only have specific things other than meat that you'll be eating? So like say for the whatever diet you're on at the moment, what other, like besides meat, what else can you consume, or do you consume? So you mentioned fruit. Is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Is
So-
it just meat and fruit?
So fruit has only been like this year. Oh, not this year. The start of 2023. I haven't
Yeah.
Yeah,
transitioned yet in
Yeah.
2024.
we've changed
Yeah.
years already.
Yeah, yeah. So I did a reel on it. So I put all the food I eat on one table, and basically it's just like a whole bunch of organic fruit.
Yeah.
And like I started because I went to, it was like August 2023. I started because I went to the Philippines.
Yeah.
I'm half Philo, so
Yeah.
my mum has like family over there, and there's just no meat over there.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to fast because I do fast. Like I've fasted. The most I've fasted is 3 days, like
Yeah.
just
Wow.
on water.
Far out.
Like fasting's another thing that you can do on the all meat diet because you eat meat and you don't need to eat as much because meat's heavy and it just sits in your stomach, and so
Yeah.
like people say it's hard to digest, but it's fine. Like it just sits there and you don't have to eat as much.
And it would get better over time, I assume.
Yeah.
Digesting it would get...
Like you don't want to, like for me, I used to eat like 3 meals a day and that takes up so much time.
Yeah.
So now I just eat like 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day in an 8-hour window.
Yeah.
And I don't have to eat breakfast. Like I haven't eaten breakfast today. I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you eat less. So fasting's great. It massively is an addition to the carnivore diet, which is great. So yeah, the longest I've done fasting is like 3 days.
And so you're doing... I think you just introduced eggs, did you? Or no, was that just
eggs.
a trial thing?
Eggs were really bad. That was a trial
Yeah.
thing, and I have to try like pasture raised eggs, but the eggs you get from Safeway and Safeway, I don't call it Safeway anymore. Woolworths.
yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And I
Same
heard the
thing.
other day, like, listening to this podcast I listened to, that there's, like, 2 different sorts of eggs. And it's not like, obviously there's...
One with a
different
chicken in it,
outside
one
colour.
without a chicken in it.
No, but, like, the yolk is either, like, more yellow,
Yellow.
or it's more orange.
Yeah.
And,
Which one's
I
the
can't remember.
healthier one? The yellow one?
Yeah,
I feel like it's the yellow one.
Yeah.
We have like I've got chooks at my joint and they all lay the yellow,
Oh, there
the
you go.
yellow
Yeah.
yolks.
That's sick.
That's because like we get it all like obviously we get it straight from them. They're not like processed or anything like
Yeah.
that. I assume it's more healthy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
The problem is it's like the chickens are fed soy and grains.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're eating chicken or the eggs from the chicken that is fed soy and grains. So the soy and the grains is what causes the inflammation.
Maybe you should get your own chickens.
And just feed it meat?
And feed it meat. That would be...
Is that against the law?
I wouldn't think so. surely not.
feed the chicken.
yeah.
Oh, no.
There's got to be some sort of law
That's
going
what
against
they
that
did
one.
on the Social Network, that movie. Oh, in real life as well, like Andrew Garfield's character, like fed
Yeah.
chicken,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and I think he was arrested for it.
Oh,
He's like,
really?
I didn't know it was against the law.
Yeah.
Oh really?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't do that at home.
Yeah,
Don't,
don't-
don't go and feed a chicken
We're just
or a
joking.
human.
Yeah,
Let's not do that.
I was thinking that.
Shifting back over to your social media account. So
Yeah.
you say it was the traction was basically instant.
Oh yeah, really fast. It surprised me even. Like I just made a 1 minute 30 reel where I was just like showing my transformation, just talking over it. It was like it wasn't really that well done. And
Was it just on Instagram, not TikTok or anything?
no, just on Instagram? Like my TikTok's nothing.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the TikTok, it just censors it all the time.
Yeah,
like it says
would
it's too
too, 'cause
graphic.
You're talking scientifically.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Or
not just that.
scientifically,
Like
but
even the graphic
the
nature of the
photos,
photos,
yeah.
like they just censor it. So it was
Yeah.
really hard to like take off there.
Yeah.
But Instagram's been great. So yeah, as soon as I shared that first reel, this Dr. Kiltz, who's like 100K followers, he just reposted it with himself like reacting to it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like straight away it was like
That's
thousands and
that's
thousands
big
of
take,
views.
yeah.
I think it was 150,000 on that first reel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it
Would
just
that-
went crazy.
Would that be like your favorite moment with social media so far? Do you think?
My favorite moment was like 3 days after I turned 27. I posted this reel and it got like 1 million views.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then
Oh,
just
yeah.
recently I got like another one, 6.6 million.
Wow.
Like I'm not even caring about the views, so to speak. I care about the fact that it's reaching all these people.
Yeah, people
and
know about
and,
it.
and
you
it
know
can make
that
a
it's-
difference in their
it's
life.
opening because
Yeah.
it's something like when you're scrolling on your phone, it's not something you read about or you see
Yeah.
all the time. People talking about eczema and how it can be healed in other ways,
Yeah.
but it's something that like I'm sure you'd know the statistics like a lot more than I do. But how many people actually do suffer from eczema in their lives? Do you know?
Oh,
Because it's a lot.
I know that
more
1 in
common,
10 have
yeah.
autoimmune diseases. I don't know.
It'd be a lot more common
eczema,
than people
yeah.
really think, though.
Yeah.
So do you think has that really opened your eyes across your platform and shit?
Yeah, it's
this
been
amount of
shooting
people
up
actually-
exponentially.
Yeah.
A lot of people suffer from eczema.
Like you never really knew how, or did you know how many people actually cared about the topic as much as you did?
Well, you know, like when you look at people around you in your immediate sphere, like not much people have eczema, but it's different on my platform because everyone who has eczema is reaching out to me.
Yeah, exactly. So you,
Yeah.
you'd see it a bit different, and
Yeah.
a lot more than anyone else would. Because I know, like, it's not talked about.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really see it I think, like, you're the first time I've seen it being talked about online.
Oh yeah, because everyone's absolutely ashamed of it.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, like I did a 6-month computing degree that I finished, and the whole reason I did it is because I didn't want to leave the house for the rest of my life. I just
really?
wanted to like
Oh, really?
work from home coding, because like, you know, it's just horrible. Like every time I walked
just
out,
see an end to it. Yeah.
yeah, every time I taught music, like I remember the parents were like, "Can't you wear gloves? Like that's horrible." And like I'd have like I'd have like a trial lesson with a kid, and the kid was like so scared, and it was like he never came back, and like it was always like that. So like the kids I was teaching were the ones that I had from before when it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
Because like it was controllable with steroids, but then it got to a point where the steroids stopped working, and then like, you know, like if you're a drug addict and like you can't get the same hit anymore.
Yeah.
And so you can't do it. So it stops working. So basically there was 3 years of just horrible inflammation because it stopped working, and that was when it was just like gruesome. And that's when all the kids were like looking at me like, holy shit. Like people were asking like, if I practice piano, will my hands end up like that? I'm like, no.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
So that sort of what inspired you to like, all right, let's really do something about this?
Well, yeah, when I cured myself, I was like, I just have to tell people.
Yeah.
And so I had like this huge, like, I don't know, just this huge amount of energy that just like came to me, and I just wanted to release content like
a massive surge
like a
of
power just
motivation,
like flowing through me. I just need to like make this. And so I just want to like scream it from the rooftops and tell everyone I can. So like now that's why I'm talking about the views. I'm just so happy that it's reached 6 million people.
Yeah.
And
that's massive. Yeah.
And dude, like not even that, like just recently 2 people have sent me their transformations that they discovered that they managed to cure after finding my story.
Oh,
so
wow.
and they've been worse than me. Like the photos of the guy's face, like it was just horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's cured completely. So, and he's just like you know, he thanks me for it. So I'm just like, holy shit,
that must be so rewarding.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
so
crazy.
did you want to do like, was influencing something that you wanted to do?
Yeah.
Like before, well, not before.
Not really
Xbox,
like
you already had it.
influencer. Like I didn't really picture myself talking in like I loved acting and I loved performing. So I was a musician.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to be an influencer as a musician. So like I was telling you guys before the interview, like my channel, like I said it in the interview as well, the whole channel was a music channel. And so all of the guys left, like my musicians friends left me. But the thing was like, I was always posting when I was on heavy antibiotics.
Yeah.
Because when you're on heavy antibiotics, like it clears you up perfectly.
Yeah.
So what I'd do is I'd film like 6 month worth of content just in like a few weeks while I was on the drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Because I looked normal. So like,
Oh,
and
wow.
then I would feed that over the next 6 months, thinking that it's like weekly or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, people were like, why do you look so good in the past? Yeah, it's because I was literally timing it when I was on heavy medication.
Yeah.
And not just that, like I had all these plugins from Final Cut Pro where I would try to blur out the really horrible eczema.
Yeah.
And like, there's all these plugins that make yourself look good. But like, you can see, people might say, oh, maybe you're blurring it out now. Like a lot of people say you're fake, your story's fake. You're probably still on.
Yeah, it's
You're
crazy.
still on
Yeah.
medication. Honestly, I've tried every medication under the sun short of Dupixent. You can't look like I do now
Yeah.
with eczema
Yeah.
unless you heal it holistically.
Because like obviously like it doesn't even
Like you
look
can't see
you
like
have
there's
much
no
scarring
plugins
or
now.
anything. Yeah.
I can confirm I do not have plugins in my eyes. And I'm not seeing any Xbox.
And I still have all these blemishes on my face, so you know that we have no.
Oh, you've been a bit hard on yourself there, Ben.
Yeah.
I think so.
But obviously, like, it must have been hard to, going into the more music side of things, it must have been hard to pick up because you play guitar as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, having the eczema on your hands and that, did it, like, slice your fingers open? And that
Oh
half as
yeah,
well?
it's the actual interesting thing about the guitar.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually the strings that was the problem, like in terms of slicing your fingers.
Yeah.
It was the metal itself.
Yeah.
So when I stopped using steroids, the steroid creams suppress your expression. So I became aware that I was allergic to nickel. I
Oh.
was which is the guitar strings.
Yeah.
And then I was allergic to bronze. So it took me so long to discover the strings that work for me. So I was like trialing it out for so long. So now I actually use gold strings.
Really?
Yeah, gold strings aren't expensive. Like they're only like $40, but they're
not
like
that
rare.
low.
Might have
Yeah.
just had to turn like classical and just play nylon or something.
No, even nylon
Yeah, 'cause
like
they
has
have
metal.
the
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, because the top 4 strings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be something that you sort of have to find out the hard way.
the hard
don't
way.
you?
Yeah, I really did find out the hard way. Like it was horrible contact dermatitis for like a month.
Because like you never surely would have thought like, oh, like maybe it's just me playing the
Yeah.
guitar that's making it worse.
Yeah,
But
a lot of people who don't even have eczema suffer from nickel allergies,
yeah.
and like it's just it's really common.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
What sort of music is it? Do you actually like that you make? Well,
Oh.
just music in general. Where do you fall in the
Oh,
general realm of music?
To be honest, like I've been working more as a songwriter for other people.
Okay.
So, I mean, with my music, I tend to do a lot of weddings, like romantic stuff. Like,
Oh,
I'm,
cool.
like that's my main source of income right now. I'm in a wedding band.
Oh yeah.
Shout out,
really?
Shout out, Like This Entertainment.
Oh, tag.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's a really cool wedding band. Like, a lot of the people in there are from the Benny Greggs group.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like my style that suits me well is like romantic kind of piano bar or like singing singing in weddings, like
So
serenading.
are you singing yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I'm a
cool.
singer.
That's you have it. You've been dealt a good card there. You can sing and you can play guitar and you can play whatever. You're winning. You're absolutely
You can't
winning.
lose at that point, surely.
How long have you been like in the music scene?
I
yourself?
started playing the piano 7, and
Yep.
I started like uploading content around 12, I think.
Yeah.
Like my mum's half Philo. Well, she's Philo, so like this karaoke's massive there. So I just used to
Yeah.
play the piano, and my mum was like, "You should sing, boy, sing." I'm like, okay. She's just like, "No, you're Philo, you sing." I'm like, okay. So I just started singing from then. It's like that. It's like that.
Yeah.
That's such a good origin story.
Have you seen that South Park episode where Token's like playing bass?
Nah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's just like Token, you know, like I'm probably get cancelled saying it.
No,
but
just-
he was like
it's alright.
Token, you got dark skin, you can play bass. And so he like gives him
so-
a bass guitar,
yeah.
and he's just like, I can't play bass just because I've got dark skin. And he's like, starts playing. Damn it, I can play bass. So like my mum was like, yeah, you can sing because
The
you're
South
Philo.
Park didn't
And
get
you're like,
cancelled
damn it,
all
I
the
can
way.
sing.
Yeah, I can sing.
It so makes me wonder how those sort of TV shows like even just exist
Yeah.
in the current social media that we have.
Yeah.
Like how is that still going? How are they not like
Yeah, then
how are
other
they not
people
all
get
in
cancelled for
jail?
the same
They
thing,
probably got
but-
like a you know alternate culture because like it's so like repressed. So
Yeah,
it's more
exactly.
demand for it because it's like
That's so
not illegal,
true,
but
'cause
They
you
must have a
know
good
it's
legal team too,
controversial.
surely.
It's a very grey area sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Do you hope with the music to take it further in the future? Or is it?
I was actually thinking
Are you
this.
sort of shifting towards your own personal social media stuff?
Yeah, I was actually thinking this on the way here. I was like thinking, how am I going to balance like carnivore and music? Because like, I don't know, I did like when I was doing my Bachelor of Science, it's just so hard to be like an expert in 2 fields.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's my goal long term, to like be like an influencer in carnivore. And not just that, like I really want credentials behind me. So like my degree in science is actually like mechanical systems. So it's like applied mathematics so it's not like specializing in biochemistry. So that's why I've come back to uni now. I'm at Monash studying biochemistry.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So like I want to like I don't want to just be like some guy shirtless on Instagram, like 'cause this is
Yeah.
what I get all the
Yeah.
time, like you're so egotistical, look at you on your jet ski with your shirt off. And like I just comment back like, look, for 26 years of my life I wasn't on a jet ski shirtless. I was in my room probably crying you know, like in horrible pain. So I'm just happy I can be on a jet ski now, shirtless, and trying to like spread this message to everyone
Yeah.
in the
you
world.
can see
that
your
you
own
can have it too.
transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've earned it, like, why not share it?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like, you didn't try that hard to not wear a shirt and not show it off. You know?
Yeah. So but anyway, like I'm trying to get credibility by doing that. So the long term for me is I'd love to just, you know, chase that scientific, academic route plus in music
Yeah.
at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna like split my time between the two, and that would be the ultimate goal, like songwriting, performing, and at the same time, trying to make a difference in the scientific world with carnivore. And, you know, it's actually really fresh. Like with meat studies, like usually with studies, you have to have like a pill at the end of it that they can make money from.
Yeah.
So like, and I know, so with the meat studies, you can't really make money from it. So there's no one funding it.
Yeah.
So that's why all of these private doctors like Dr. Sean Baker have done these they're trying to start new studies. So it's really fresh. Like the most recent research that have been published about it is like in 2015. All of this, just 2000s onward, there's like all this new research on meat and the carnivore diet. So it's really fresh.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good time to be in like studying this and trying to make a difference in science with this field. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm just really keen.
Have you like progressed with it? So like, have you had to change as they found out new things, or have you been completely on your own in your own research? Like, because like obviously it's very fresh, so it's a moving.
Yeah, I mean,
there's moving parts in it.
Yeah, the
People
carnivore
make a
diet.
discovery about the carnivore diet and stuff like that.
Yeah,
have you had to change with it at all?
Well, not really, because like I feel like what I'm eating like affects, like it's my body, so I'm tailoring the diet to what suits me.
Yeah.
So whatever the science says, like I'm still modifying it for what suits me. So like people, you asked before, like how do you map out your diet? So most people go to nutritionists, but the thing is they're too like low layer.
Yeah.
Like they do a skin prick test, and you just like if your skin gets inflamed, then you're allergic to it. But it's just not in depth enough.
Yeah.
So like the only way is to find out the hard way in small amounts. So this is why it's great to do an all meat diet, because you're just eliminating everything.
Yeah.
And then when you start reintroducing things, you can tell whether you're inflamed by it or it's your actual eczema. Because like if you're just going to do an all meat diet, like if you were just going to eat everything, how do you know it's your eczema or the food that's affecting you?
Yeah.
Like to do it scientifically, like you really need to cut everything out and then bring it back in small amounts. So that's what I'm doing now.
Absolutely. You've got it all mapped out. It's so good to talk to someone who's actually educated on the topic. Because I feel like that's...
People will probably say online, oh yeah, applied science degree, you're not even a nutritionist, bro.
There's ways to show knowledge that other than just with a uni degree, but you've actually applied it to your life, which is something that a lot of people aren't able to do.
Well, it's scary. It's certainly scary to do. Like a lot 100%. Of people don't want to mess with, like there's no reason for you guys to start a carnivore diet unless you're interested. Like Joe Rogan did it, but like there's no health like implications that you're suffering with. Like the reason why I started it, because I was already dying.
Yeah.
Like I was literally dying. I was in the hospital. I had sepsis, and the doctor said, lucky you came in because you probably would have died next week.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So like I did it because I was like clutching at straws. Like I desperately needed to survive, and I needed something long term.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I found like, I don't know, Pandora's box. I found the diet that will sustain me forever.
Yeah.
So people aren't willing to go against the mainstream nutritional advice because it's scary, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to eat meat every day. Like what if I get cancer? I'm not going to risk that.
Yeah.
But if you're already dying, you don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's worth like, that's the thing. Everyone kind of trusts the mainstream nutritional science because they think it's, and educated people are making this. So I just believe them.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to question it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question the food pyramid, but you kind of should, because 1 in 10 are suffering from autoimmune disease, and it's rising it's actually increasing every year, from 3 to 9% every year. So people are getting sicker and sicker. Cardiovascular disease, cancer, it's all tripling. Yeah. It's never been this high. So I would argue we've went wrong because everything is processed these days, and everything is about designing it for longest shelf life.
Yeah.
How we need to, like Bill Gates just recently is endorsing this product called A-Peel, where you just spray this is coating on fruit so it lasts longer in the stores on the shelf.
Oh wow.
So like obviously all of this stuff didn't exist 400 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a coincidence that that's probably why everyone's exponentially sick.
Yeah.
100%.
And what sources do you personally trust to get your information off? Is it like podcasts or fellow carnivore
people that have nothing to gain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Sean Baker's not really
People without like a motive for money.
Yeah, well, I mean, Paul Saladino is like, he's selling his organ supplements, but like a lot of these people, like myself, like I'm actually making no money from this.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it because I have a story to tell, and I want you guys to heal.
Yeah, you want help.
So like people saying, oh yeah, maybe you're doing it for the attention, or maybe you're doing it, I don't know. I'm not making any money from this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for the attention. I'm just doing it because, like with Michaela Peterson, you can't really tell with her transformation because she didn't have eczema. But with me, it's black and white. You can see it's on the skin, it's on the surface. You can see the before and after, and you can't really argue with it.
Yeah, like if there was a cure for cancer and you found it, you wouldn't hold it to yourself sort of thing.
Like all they can say is you're fake. You're a fake artist. But like seriously, I've got nothing to gain from this. So if I was saying who do you trust, like I'd trust people like myself who have nothing to gain versus someone like I don't know. The whole reason people think that meat is like causes cancer and heart disease because of this guy called Ansel Keys, and it's been proven that this guy was literally funded by sugar companies in the 40s and the 50s. So like a lot of these people spreading fake information are just funded by big corporations.
Yeah.
And they need to say the right things to get the money.
Yeah.
And it's
But
everywhere in
this
life.
is a rabbit hole there. So this is
Exactly
like, I try to
that.
avoid going down here.
You can get stuck into it too far.
Because you might get censored off.
To wrap up our episode today, you're a very wise person. Would you be able to leave some wise words for our audience? Just a bit of advice.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of talks like this, and like I went back to my old high school actually, and the teachers invited me to talk about my diet and basically critical thinking. So the one thing I'd say is there's a lot of trust, in the last few years post the pandemic, like a lot of people are saying trust the science, trust the experts. I think in today's time, it's never been a better time to question the experts and question the science and question everything. I think the scariest thing about modern society is there's not much critical thinking going on. So for me to heal, I had to critical think, and I had to weigh the benefits, weigh the risks, and I said, okay, I'm already dying. I'm going to take this risk for the next 30 days. And Dr. Ken Berry talks about it. He's like, you're not going to die in 30 days. Just give it a shot. And you will find in 30 days that you feel a lot better. So if you're sick, the carnivore diet may be the thing that heals you. 30 days, it's not going to kill you. But the thing is, you have to critical think about everything. Like, just think about things. Like, you hear things on the news. Is that real? Like, don't just take things that you hear, even from, like, Western medicine. Like, and I get it. It's kind of controversial to say that. But I think in our time, it's sorely lacking. Like, critical thinking is people just blindly trust what other people say and there's not enough, like even the whole education system, it's about memorizing about what they teach you, and it's like, okay, I have to get a good mark, I've got to memorize this, but what if actually like what they're teaching you is fundamentally wrong? Like a lot of doctors talk about atherosclerosis, like heart disease in like medicine, like in nutritional medicine, like the school of medicine, when you're in medical school, they say that atherosclerosis causes heart disease. But if you actually look into the statistics, 50% of all... So I just got to unpack this quickly to explain it. So there's this thing called LDL, which is called the bad cholesterol, which is allegedly causing heart disease. This is why people are scared to eat meat, because they think they get high cholesterol. So my cholesterol level is actually, like in Australia, we measure cholesterol with this thing called millimole per litre. So you have to have your cholesterol levels below 5.17 millimole per litre to be safe. So my cholesterol is 6.9 millimole per litre. It's like way through the roof. And the doctors are like, yeah, this is not good. You could have heart disease. You should monitor that. I critical think, and I say the doctor's wrong. And people are like, how could you say the doctor's wrong? He has 10 years of medical experience, and you're just some guy on the internet on a jet ski shirtless. So but again, it's like the research clearly says, like, this is what Dr. Anthony, my research is coming from doctors who are doing the research. And Dr. Anthony Shafee says 50% of all people who have heart attacks have low LDL levels, which is considered safe. And the research says if you have higher levels of LDL, you're actually less prone to heart disease and having heart attacks. So, I don't know. I just think it's a really good time to be critical thinking about everything you hear.
100%.
Do your own research.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to
Yeah,
you.
man.
A lot of I think we're all better off after listening to that.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing your wisdom and your research and growth. And
Would you like to plug any socials that people can go and find you at before we conclude?
Yeah, I guess just my Instagram, Bradley Marshall Official, and on YouTube it's called I Cured My Eczema.
Oh,
So,
There you go. Well, thank you very much for chatting with us, Bradley. Ben, I think you've got one very last important passage of words for us to end the episode. Your specialty.
roll the outro music.